I keep saying that these two are going to take the pressure off Virat by playing on either side of him, Rahul above and Shreyas Iyer below. It'll be very interesting to ask them which innings they were prouder of. Whether in the first T20 when they got 15, 20 odd balls each, or whether it was this one where they were 40 for 2, couldn't afford to lose another wicket there, played in ones and twos, didn't matter if the asking rate went to 8 and over and just finished it clinically. This was the kind of run chase I wanted to see from Shreyas Iyer. Rahul we've been seeing for a while, he's in tremendous form, but I wanted to see this kind of run chase from Shreyas Iyer, and I think he's passed it.
I suspect, to answer Harsha's question, probably the latter, because if you throw a bit of a challenge in front of batsmen, those 2 wickets, maybe batting conditions not quite the same as 48 hours earlier, they'd probably pick today.
Yes, I think the best way to determine is what was the external factors, and I think the pressure was certainly more on today's innings for sure because of the conditions, and also we've seen low scoring games, run chases can be tricky as well. You feel that okay, you're not chasing that big a target, but that tend to give you that comfort zone as well, that okay, I can see it through. Certainly 2-3 overs of good bowling, not many runs scored, and that pressure builds on. So that's something which you have to deal with. And then 2 wickets down, and you look at the wickets like Rohit and Virat, if they are back in the pavilion, that is certainly going to add that extra pressure, and for the opposition to feel that they have a chance. One more wicket there could have really doubled that pressure on Shivam Dube coming into bat next, or Manish Pandey. So I think from that perspective, it was a very easy decision for us to figure out which innings was better. I think this was by far I think better innings in terms of gaining that confidence.
I also thought they played it well. Look at Mitch Santner. 4 overs, none for 19. They realized he's the danger guy there, so they played him out. They didn't take any chances against Santner, and then the chance that Shreyas took was against Sodhi.
That too later on,
and then that Hamish Bennett over was when, I mean, India were always going to win once they got that far, but that over was the turning point. So really enjoyed this chase, and if the New Zealand look back at this series, they'll probably go and play marbles and try and figure out where the stump is and try and hit the stumps at least once.
Right in front of them. But the maturity of that partnership really is, as Harsha alluded to, it was the first bit, because when Santner and Southee came on in tandem, over 7 to 10, they scored just 21 runs, only 1 boundary, but they realized they were just getting into it, and then came any acceleration needed later on.
And I think inherently the confidence that they can do it when the situation warrants. So they're playing within themselves a little bit. I think Shreyas, more than Rahul, is always itching to play that big shot. Rahul has played a little bit more, is a little more rounded now. You got the impression with Shreyas, he was itching to play that big shot from time to time. But if these two are going to bat together for a little longer, they've got to sort their running out if they've got to play longer. But it's very good to see this kind of maturity. This is the kind of innings that you want to throw your young players into and see how they respond. So it wasn't a huge target, but no Rohit, no Virat, and they still went and did it. That was a big plus.
And for Shreyas Iyer, really, we showed you at the very start that he had those couple of not outs, which means he's taken the team home. In this case, it wasn't a not out technically, but he really took the team home.
If he was trying to finish it in style. There is that element to Shreyas, where there's an element of the showman in Shreyas. He wants to show, which will also, I think, get little change with time. But doesn't matter. By the time he got out, he had already done what was required of him as a top order batsman.